Okay, so today we're going to do something a little bit different. I haven't done one of these yet, so I'm quite excited to see how it comes out. I've got only 2 camera angles because I haven't got all the equipment to do the foot cam. But basically we're going to do a full test route number 7 in Sutton and Ashfield. I'm going to be talking through all of the things that you would be expected to do and things to look out for on your driving test. So let's get into it straight away. So all round observations at the start, obviously that goes without saying. I'm hoping the camera stays on the roof, and I'm hoping that the camera records long enough to get this whole test route in. So we're turning right out the test centre, doing some mirror there and moving along. Now normally, sometimes down this straight run, they'll ask you how you would check your horn is working properly. So this would be the start of the show me, tell me questions. So I'll wait till I've passed this. There's a woman with a kid with a buggy, so I'm not going to do it here. End of the road left, so mirror, signal to the left. You have to be pretty careful here because there is a bit of a double junction. Creeping forward, got my view, and I'm away. So this is quite a good test route. It does cover a lot of different things. We've got a crossroad. At the crossroad, turn right. So mirror, signal. Now this particular part, sometimes they'll give you what they call, or what I call, a double direction. So this is 2 directions in one to help you prepare for what's coming next. So the examiner will say turn right at the crossroad, then at the next crossroad we are also turning right. So the clue here is the second direction. So as we turn, we're just through the light there, we're going to keep to the right lane. What this does then, it allows us to basically be in the correct lane now for the next crossroad, which we're going to turn right at. So at the crossroad, turn right. So mirror, signal. Now there's 2 lanes in front. I'm going to use the left lane of the 2. I could use the right lane, but the left lane is usually the best lane to choose just because it's going to bring you off in the normal driving lane on your test. So you're not going to get into the rat race of trying to, you know, squeeze back in a gap or to merge, which although is possible to do, it's just easier sometimes to avoid. So we're going to follow the bend round, keeping the car nice and wide. It's really important I don't cut into the turn because there's a dual lane. You can see the van obviously is going to merge. I'm checking down the right side. Quick blind spot check to make sure no one's tucked into the blind spot on the right. I'm keeping an eye on the distance from the vehicle in front. So we can use the 2-second rule because the conditions are nice and dry. So only a fool breaks the 2-second rule. That's the saying to remember. Now increasing the speed. At the traffic lights, I'm turning right. So mirror, signal to the right about here, and we're moving into the right. Now I can see there's 2 lanes, so I'm crossing over the white line to get into the far right lane. And we're just bringing the speed down, checking the mirrors, making sure it's looking good. And as you can see here, we have a single lane turning right. So this means that when I turn, is only me turning around the bend to the right, which means that I have a choice on the exit of the left or the right-hand side. Now, I was contemplating throwing in something like a serious fault halfway or through the video at some point. So I want you to look out for that. I'm going to do something which could be considered serious on the test, but obviously I'm going to be sure to make sure that it's nice and clear when I do it. If you can spot it, then put that in the comments below, and you'll get 10 Simon Says pass points, which are unfortunately nothing that you can use, but always good to try. So the traffic lights changed, quick mirror check, I'm moving off, quick check down the mirror. Now I'm looking on the floor, I can see there's a line guiding me through the curve, and I'm going to go to the left lane on the exit as I increase my speed up, national speed limit. Quick check to the right because there's a merge. We're pushing that speed up, getting up to a reasonable pace because it is a 60-mile-an-hour limit as we push through here now. Okay, so I'm at 48. I could push a bit more, but I have got a mini roundabout coming up now. And at the mini roundabout, we're going to turn left. So mirror, signal left, and we're slowing back down into the left lane, giving way to the right in gear 2, rolling, lifting the clutch, and we're clear. So we're moving through. And at the traffic lights up ahead, I'm going to be turning right. So again, we mirror and signal to the right. Now there's a green arrow on. This means that I can turn because this is called the filter arrow. I'm committed now, passing through. And again, following the curve, keeping the position nice and neat on that side. This camera's wobbling around quite a lot, so hopefully that's not too crazy. And again, this is a bit of a test really to see what it comes out like. I will be posting this no matter what, because why not? But that is wobbling quite bad, so hopefully it's not too bad that it can't be stabilized. Now I did flash up there at a little bit over, but I am around 29 to 30 mile an hour. So okay, at the mini roundabout we're going to be turning left, first exit. So again, mirror and signal, and I'm giving way to the right. Now I can see there's a red vehicle in the right hand side, so I'm going to slow down. He might be blocked off by these cars coming round though. If the vehicle in front goes, look, I'm going to tag onto the back of that. Okay, and that's what we call a blocker. Okay, now the examiner might ask me down here to pull up on the left, so find me somewhere suitable to park on the left. So I'm going to check my mirror, indicate, giving the car behind plenty of time to react. And I think just under these trees here, it's going to be a lovely place to stop. Try not to hit the curb, stop in the car, and then I always want to put the handbrake on, take it out of gear, cancel the signal so that I don't make a mistake when I'm trying to set off again. Okay, the examiner will now say move on when you're ready. Now you'll be asked to pull up about maybe 3 to 4 times. Got a gap after this car, so mirror, signal, I'm pushing away. And again, ensuring that I do all the checks, the blind spot check, using our POM routine, preparation, observations, and then move. Okay, making our way down this road. I've got the van in front. I can't get much closer than this, so I want to keep the distance, and I can see the road's quite wide, so I've got no real concerns about anything at this point. We're just making progress down the road. The speed limit then comes up to 40 mile an hour. So we're going to check the mirror, and we can't go any faster because of the van, and I'm keeping the distance, but if he wasn't there, I would have increased the speed. Now we're going to be turning right, which is signposted motorway, so mirror, signal, moving into the right lane. And we have here what we call, or I call it staggered traffic light. So you can see that the red car has moved slightly further forward than the van, and that is because the lights change at separate times here. So the red light on the right is for us, and the green arrow is obviously for the vehicles on the left. So we're just waiting here now for the light to change, and then we'll be turning. Now, if you're ever turning right at a crossroad, you're trying to determine whether it's one that you have to give way at or not. Now, because I can see a green arrow, I know that I don't have to give way to the oncoming vehicle. I'm mindful of the guy on the left. He's got his top off, so he could be in a rush to get somewhere. But we're basically moving along nicely there. And again, a bit of mirror work as we increase the speed. Now, again, the vehicle in front not really going the speed limit at this point, but there's no opportunity to overtake, so I don't have to worry about that. I can just maintain my distance and just make my way along. Now he's filtered off, so quick mirror checks, and now I can start pushing my speed. It's 40 mile an hour. The signs are covered here. I'm going to keep it around 40 mile an hour. When we get to the end of the road, we're going to turn left. So this is signposted for the M1. And if I was on an independent driving route, this could be the route that they'd give me, like a follow the signs for the M1. So a nice obvious test route. So mirror signal. Again, we have a green arrow, so this means I should be able to continue without any worries. Quick check to the right, make sure there's no what we call cops or robbers, so anyone coming through the traffic lights that might cause us a problem. Okay, quick check to the right side there as we're merging, and again I can see traffic lights up ahead, so I'll be thinking about my mirror work, thinking about my road position. Again, the vehicle in front moving a little bit slower than the speed limit, but it doesn't concern me. We're just keeping our pace going, keeping at the 2-second rule, and we judge that by counting from a fixed object 2 seconds and making sure we don't reach that point. Now I'm going to stay again in the left lane here. There is quite a big backup of traffic in the left lane, but again, on your driving test, the examiner's not going to be too concerned as long as the flow of traffic is being kept. And I don't really want to risk going down the right-hand side of 3 lorries and getting stuck. So, you know, you're not going to get a serious fault for waiting or holding on the left-hand side. Sometimes you might want to overtake though, so we'll see if that develops further on as the road gets wider and we go into a dual carriageway. I hope you're enjoying this so far. This is very strange for me to do. I'm talking to myself in the car, so if you are finding this helpful in any way, don't forget to just give that little boop on the like button, and possibly consider subscribing to the channel, because there'll be lots of different videos that you could benefit from if you've got your driving test coming up. So, right, we're pushing on. 30-mile-an-hour limit. Now, this does catch people out quite often because the 30-mile-an-hour limit goes on a little while past the traffic lights, and this because there's a school nearby. So what I'm currently doing is I'm just maintaining speed. I'm mindful of the vehicle on the right. I've got an ambulance coming up behind now, so I'm going to hold back, create some space. This is all you need to do for emergency vehicles. Just create some space, make sure they can get through. And obviously the 30-mile-an-hour limit changes to a 50 shortly, so quick check down the right side as it's merging. Okay, looks like we're in some slow-moving traffic here, so again, I'm just keeping my distance, making sure I'm not getting too close to the vehicle in front. Now, shortly you can see that we've got the dual carriageway sign. This means that the road is going to split into 2 lanes. And again, this is where I'd have a choice if I wanted to overtake. For now, I'm going to stay left. I'm just going to build the speed up with the flow of traffic. If you're not sure if you're going to get asked to turn off, it's okay to ask the examiner, you know, am I taking an exit on the left anytime soon? Because you could make good progress down that right-hand side. Okay, we've got the national speed limit sign, so quick mirror check here. Now these lights could change, so I'm mindful of the lorry behind, good distance, and I'm just pushing the speed up. Okay, and we'll work up the gears. I'm going to go gear 5 now. Usually around 50 mile an hour is when I'll advise people to get gear 5, so near 50. Now we're slowing back down, so again, another mirror check. Bringing the speed back down. I'm going to go down to 4, and then down to 3, and then down to 1, because we're just going to roll in to the final position. Again, keeping the tyres and tarmac rule in mind. Pausing there. Handbrake on, waiting for the traffic lights. Okay, quick mirror check, make sure no bikes coming through. Now remember the ambulance earlier, so we need to be mindful of that ambulance. Any other emergency vehicles could be coming through. What you've got now then is exactly the reason why using the right lane here is risky. Because the lorry you see is in the right lane is causing everyone to back up in this right lane. Now the issue there is if you're in the right lane and then the examiner asks you to turn left here to Pinkston, well, you're going to be in trouble because you've got to try and get back. So only use that right lane, only overtake if you really feel like you've got a good opportunity to overtake. At this point, the examiner would be happy with this because it's so busy that being in that, you know, that lane, it can create problems for us. So we're just keeping an eye on the distance, 2-second rule, and we're just looking at the flow of traffic. Now I'm trying not to pass vehicles on the right. Okay, remember, undertaking is something we should always try and avoid. If they start to slow down because of the build-up of traffic, then that's not a problem, but we don't want to be actively trying to accelerate down the left side of the people that are on our right. Okay, so there's a little complicated bit coming up. This is the MacArthur Glen roundabout, or Design Outlet Village, as it's now called. So the examiner would ask me to potentially follow the signs for Mansfield. So we're going to do that now. Now I haven't made the fault yet, by the way. So Just be mindful of that, but it will be coming up shortly. So mirror, signal to the left. Normally you do that at a 2-strike marker, but the boards have been destroyed and are no longer there. So we're just looking at the distance we are, and we emerge, you know, taking ourselves off onto the slip road, keeping that flow going. We've got an advisory speed of 30, cancelling the signal, and you know, I can be in 3rd gear for 30 mile an hour, so that's good. Again, look at the distance, I'm not getting close to the flow of traffic. Now, looking at the roundabout, like I said, we're following the signs for Mansfield. So that is on the roundabout, right, 2nd exit. So road position, it's really important here. A lot of people get this wrong because they put their road position to the left, and it's a mystery of why, because we're obviously turning right. So we do mirror, signal to the right, and we're just hugging the right hand side, looking to the right, just staying in gear 1, just having a look. Okay, looks good. Gear 2. Okay, going round the roundabout on the right hand side, and then I'm going to stay on the right hand side. So I'm going to indicate to exit, but I'm staying on the right because that sign says right to Mansfield. So I want to be here, look, A38. Okay, mirror, signal again. Nothing coming from the right, so I'm going to keep this going. Now this bit here is very strange. You'll come around this curve. At this point here then, you actually have to push out to the left, but keep the vehicle's indicator on to go round. And then you can see it puts you here, indicate and check to exit to Mansfield. Now we're on the slip road. So we're building up the speed, 70 mile an hour. We want to match the speed of the vehicles on the bypass. So we're pushing the speed up. There's a learner vehicle in front, so I'm not going to get too close to him. Okay, I'm checking early, mirror signal. Okay, the van in front is causing me some issues because of the learner vehicle, but we're good. We managed to merge there, some nice checks to the right, and still remaining relatively good distance from the degreased van in front. Okay, go up to gear 4 because we're around 40 mile an hour. Now a lot of vehicles here will rush down the right hand side and then try and push in. So we're looking out for those to make sure they don't cause us any problems. Again, I'm trying not to undertake. I'm not worried if they want to come over, but at this point, look, you can see they've chose their lane and now they will stay in it, you hope. Okay, we're slowing down. Again, checking gear selection and pausing. Tyres and tarmac again from the vehicle in front. Now we're just waiting for the traffic lights to change. Again, I'm mindful of the amount of vehicles on the right-hand side. A lot of people will rush down the right-hand side and then try and come back in before the next exit, which is the one we're taking. So all I'm doing here really is, you know, just thinking about that and thinking about how I'm going to manage people on the right-hand side. I'm not going to have to do anything specific, but we're just being mindful of them. Okay, quick mirror check again, building the speed up. Working up the gears. I'm going to keep with this black car, but I'm not going to undertake it. I'm going to stay with it. There you go, exactly what we were on about. So the black car's merged now. I'm guessing the van will try and do the same. So again, we're mindful of him. He's thinking about it, you can tell, because he just looked at me. Okay, so we're moving up. So rather than, you know, try and beat this guy, I'm not going to try and beat him. I'm just going to let him in if he wants to come in. I'm just going to stay with him. If you stick with them and then they indicate, that's fair enough, isn't it? But what you don't want to do is drop back because you're worried about vehicles on the right, because you could have a problem with, obviously, progress yourself. So again, 2-second rule from the black car. Working up the gears. Now we're going to be taking the exit off to the left, signposted for Sutton Town Centre. So we're doing some mirror work, and again we're going to signal to exit. Now when these lights are on red, this means that traffic can come across the junction. So we're just going to bring the speed down. I'm going to take it down to gear 3, and I'm just going to move slowly through the bend. I'm checking, still a give way, but it looks clear. Okay, and we're progressing through and working our way back up the road. Okay, I want you to find me somewhere to park on the left. So I'm looking, there's a black 4x4 there. I'm going to go just behind him. So mirror, signal. The van behind is a little bit close, but that's fine. We can just slow the vehicle down, take our time. Okay, and then we can stop up near the curb there. Perfect. Okay, then the examiner again will ask you to move on when you're ready. So back into gear 1. That electric bike there came zooming past, so really important that we do our checks. After the van, I'm good. So mirror, signal, blind spot, move. And I'm moving away, getting away from that black car. I don't want to be too close to it. And I'm not causing a problem for the oncoming vehicles. That's really important at that point. Okay, back on a 30-mile-an-hour road, just watching speed, concentrating on the flow of traffic in front, which again is pretty simple. There's not really anything going on here, so that's nice. A lot of the driving test is like this, you know, there isn't always something going on. It relatively steady sometimes, and you'll only get a few flash points where, you know, you have to really focus. Crossing's clear. Okay, so at the roundabout, I'm going to go straight ahead. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of mirror work down here because we're moving around parked cars. I'm just making sure nothing is coming past me. Okay, I'm going to gear down to gear 2 for the roundabout, and I'm checking to the right. Does it look clear? No one's indicating to come around. Yep, committed, and I'm keeping to that outside curve of the roundabout. A little mirror and signal to exit. Okay, pushing along here, no problem. Woman on the scooter thing, stop there, good. I didn't have to wait for her because that wasn't a zebra crossing. These central islands are just places for the people to stop to, you know, get across in 2 parts rather than trying to get across the whole road. So no worries there, I didn't have to stop for her. Okay, find me somewhere to park on the left. So again, I'm looking for a spot. Mirror, signal, I'm going to go just before this green box thing here. Okay, that's okay. Now it is quite close to that junction, isn't it? So something to watch out for. But there's a very good reason I wanted to pull over here. So we're going to be moving off again shortly. Okay, again, mirror, signal, van's passed. I've done the blind spot. So I've got the POM routine in and we're away. Now, the examiner might ask me here to follow the signs for Sutton Town Centre. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the signs for Sutton Town Centre. So it's off towards the right-hand side. Okay, but this coming up here is a dual lane, so I can use the left or the right-hand side. So I'm going to use the left-hand side as I go forward. Okay, and I'm going through, and then I'm coming over here. Okay, so that's through that section now. We're going to be going straight on at the traffic lights. Again, they could change, so we keep checking the mirror, make sure it's looking nice and clear. We're quite a fair ways into the test now. We're on our kind of way back now to the test centre. Within the driving test, you will get a manoeuvre as well. We're not going to cover one of those because we don't really need to do that as part of this test. We can do it separate in the other videos which I've done on the channel. So feel free to check those out. Done all 4 manoeuvres. Now we're going to be going left first exit, so mirror, signal to the left. Okay, gearing down to 2, car on the right. I've got a white car coming as well, so I'm going to wait for that vehicle. Because the main thing on the roundabout is to take your time and not cause anyone to change speed or direction. So remember, you're not in a rush. Don't rush yourself. I've got a keep clear section on the floor, so slowing down to that and keeping that section nice and clear. Again, just keeping tyres and tarmac or junctions clear in traffic. Okay, mirror checks creeping up. We've got a traffic light. So I'm not going to push too quickly because I don't want to get caught out with the traffic light. If you look at the black car, he's crossed the junction, look, and he's blocking the junction. So You know, it's a little bit tricky, this bit, because there's no space between the traffic light and the junction. But I would wait here if the light went to red. I think you can get away with what he's done there on test, as long as you're up all the way up to the line. Okay, bit of mirror work again. We're moving off. Now at the roundabout, we're going to go straight ahead. So I'm checking the mirror. We can see pushing to the left side, indicating to the left. So let the van know, the blue van, nothing to the right, so I'm okay. Plus there's loads of cars blocking them off. This is where it gets busy then, isn't it? So we have to take our time here. We don't want to rush through these sections of road. Just keep the car moving at a nice gentle pace. Look ahead. We've got the crossing, we've got the vehicles stacking up. You know, there's absolutely no rush here. Keeping everything nice and steady. And again, look at the distance. I'm following this red car, no problem. I want the examiner to be looking out the window, wondering what he's going to have for dinner, rather than watching what I'm doing and worried about the vehicle in front. At the crossroad, we're going to turn right. So I'm checking my mirror. I'm indicating right. Now, because it's a crossroad, I know I'm giving way to the oncoming vehicle. And here we can see the light has just changed, perfectly timed there. Stopping at the line. Now, that felt easy to manage because I was anticipating the light changing. I wasn't thinking that I was definitely going to be going there. You're just going to ease off because the light's been on green for such a long time. You know that it could change, so you just take your time. Now, when the light changes here, I'm looking over the other side of the road, not what's coming from the left where this black 4x4 is coming, but what's over there on the right hand, towards the right hand side. Now, because I'm turning right, I can see on the floor there's a box for me to drive into. So that is what we will be doing. Guy crossing the road, so the traffic lights should change back any second now. Make sure no one else is crossing. Okay, and we're moving forward. Now we know we're giving way, so we're not going to rush forward, just going to move forward slowly onto the arrow. Car behind shifts to our left, look, and we have a vehicle in front of us. Now, if there's a gap, we can go. But don't take a gap that you're not sure about. If you are unsure, if you can make it across without causing people to slow down, then just don't go. So I'm waiting for a good gap. Now, if these vehicles in front stop, I know the traffic light has changed, so I will be going. But at this point, we're just sitting tight, waiting for a gap or the vehicle, oncoming vehicle, to stop. Okay, looks like he's stopping. Yep, so then we are going. So you'll only get a few seconds in the middle of the junction there before the vehicles start coming at you from the sides. So it's really important to be super, you know, looking out for that opportunity. That lorry, you could tell, was slowing down. Wasn't very obvious, but it was obvious enough to start to think about that move. End of the road, turn left. Mirror, signal to the left. Pushing up to the junction. It's a very bad view. I'm just creeping forward, making sure I don't overshoot. Okay, we're clear. Checking both ways as I emerge. Straightening the vehicle back up again. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. We're nearly done. Now, I have made the fault that I was talking about. So if you didn't spot it, then hang around till the end of the video and I will show that fault and explain why it was really important not to make that mistake on your driving test. And I know we're in a different place to where you might be taking your test, but to be honest, driving is very much a rinse and repeat action. Most roads are the same. Most road conditions are the same. Crossroads, traffic lights, roundabouts, they all follow the same rules. So we can basically copy and paste what we're talking about here. Again, I'm tyres and tarmac here. Now at this junction, I'm going off towards the right. So this is kind of straight on, but the examiner will tell you if they want you to fork off more towards the left or towards the right. A lot of people stop at this traffic light here because they see that red light. Okay, mirror check. I'm going to hold back because I don't think I can get through if that taxi doesn't move over. See, I'm waiting, no problem. Okay, Now, I'm still gonna hold because that black car's, there you go. Just give me a flash to let me know. The bus is still where he is, so we're okay. The bus, if he'd have indicated, I would have waited for the bus, but you can see how that was a good example of somewhere that you just want to wait and just wait for the situation to develop. Don't necessarily just try and push through. It wasn't our priority. The oncoming vehicles had to give us that opportunity. We're going to take the next road on the right. So mirror, signal. We've got a split here. We can't go into the box before. We can only enter the box that is designated for us to turn. Got the guy on the other side of the road there. Looks like he's waiting, so we're going to turn. The new pedestrian rule then is if they want to cross, they can cross. If they look like they're not going to cross, then you're okay to proceed, but just be cautious. It is a very tricky rule to manage, and you just have to basically deal with each individual situation separately. So you can usually tell if people are going to cross, they will start to step out, and then in that situation, just hold your road position. But yeah, it's a very tricky rule. Practice makes perfect with that, but the examiners are very fair in their judgment of the new rule, as far as I've had on tests currently, so no worries there. Okay, we're coming around this bend. Got the woman crossing the road there, but she's waiting. I'm looking at the zebra crossing up ahead. Doesn't seem to be anyone there. The guy is turning right, so we've just slowed a bit there just in case he stopped for the silver vehicle, and we didn't want to block the crossing. Really important that we don't stop on crossings, remember. So we're keeping our wits about us. Okay, we're coming up to the final part of this test. I feel like I've done okay, but you may have spotted a few things yourself. But there was definitely one serious fault that I did on purpose, just to see if you could spot it. So again, let me know in the comments if you did. As we wrap up the final part of this video, I'll show it at the end, and you'll be able to see if you spotted it. Well done if you did, by the way. And if you've got your driving test coming up and you have a specific video you'd like me to try and cover, then feel free to put that in the comments below. I'm going to do next how to judge gaps. So meeting situations, how to judge, how to get through a meeting situation. So I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, but I've got a nice little tip that you might be able to use that could just help you, be a bit more confident with that. So we're here really just to help, give you information, help you get through your driving test. And that is a wrap. Okay, we're back at the test centre road. Mirror, signal to the right. Now, really important here, we don't cut the corner. Got the van. I'm just going to wait for the van. Okay, it's turning in there. We're good to go. Okay, driving up, final part. I'm going to pull in on the left, in through these barriers here. You won't do this on your test, but that's a really good place for me to end the video. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. Stick around because I'm going to show you the fault that I made at the end of the video. But if you like the video and you found it helpful in any way, please consider a like and subscribe to the channel for future content that could also help you pass your driving test. Don't forget to share it as well with anybody that is actually learning to drive. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, again, mirror, signal. Van's passed, I've done the blind spot, so I've got the POM routine in and we're away. Now the examiner might ask me here to follow the signs for Sutton Town Centre. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the signs for Sutton Town Centre. So it's off towards the right hand side, okay, but this coming up here is a dual lane, so I can use the left or the right hand side. So I'm going to use the left hand side as I go forward. Okay, and I'm going through, and then I'm coming over here